I want to show you an alternative to using fabric for your stitching. First thing I did though is I took a needle, a pretty thick needle, and I tied my yarn to it. Sorry, I didn't tie my yarn. I put my yarn on it and I made sure I had a nice long tail. And then I took the other end and I'm going to put a double knot in it. That'll help make sure it doesn't come through. I'm going to actually make this a triple knot. Okay, I'm going to start on the back of this. Now this is carpet mesh. Carpet mesh is nice because the holes are already there. You want to be careful about working too close to the edge because while it's plastic, it still might rip. The reason you might use this over a fabric like this is because it's a little more solid and the holes are there, so you know exactly where to go. But you can do all your different kinds of stitching right on here. So for instance, you can try to do a running stitch. Now be careful, sometimes the yarn does get stuck. So running stitch is over, under, over, under, over, under. And you'll definitely go in a straight line because the lines are all there for you. And then I'm pulling. And you can see that. And you could do this as a weaving too. Make sure you pull it tight, but not so tight that your knot goes through. You can also try the running stitch if you want to, or the outline stitch. You could even try a French knot. So a French knot would look like this, where you bring your needle out. And this one you probably don't want to go in the same hole. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the end of my string around here a few times. And I'm going to go into a hole that's just next to where I came out of. Because if you go through the same hole, your knot's going to disappear. And you're going to pull it. And I showed you all these knots in a different video, all these techniques. So you could do a French knot if you want. The cross stitch, some people use this to do a nice cross stitch, so that's making X's as you go. So it's all about diagonal. Now the one thing with this fabric though that you have to keep in mind is that it's see-through. So you're going to see everything that goes on behind it. So it might be worth it to fill the whole thing in with your design. So if you decide to do a cross stitch, then you want to do the whole thing and fill it in. But you could switch colors and you could do it however you want. But this is just another option for you to use carpet mesh instead and make X's along the whole thing. Although the X's don't show up as well because this fabric has such big holes. So it might be worth it to use a really thick fabric to do it. But that's another option for you.